Don't those who are doing the resonance realize that some cellular changes are happening? They are already rejuvenating. Everyone who does it rejuvenates, little by little. If you look at the person every day, you don't notice the difference, but if there is a gap between months and you meet the person again, you notice. I hear these testimonies. The client says, "Wow, you are a different person." The "you are different" refers to the cellular change that is happening. There is rejuvenation, and there is time to evaluate and compare the situations. Returning to business and money. The problem is the comfort zone. The limit to growth that the person sets for themselves. That is the problem. And of course, the paradigm, which is the belief system, what you believe is reality and will be reality for you. So, there is your universe, her universe, his universe, each one has a universe. That is why some progress and others do not. They are parallel universes. It is a totally different reality. There's an earthquake, the building shakes, the woman goes out on the balcony to see what happened in San Francisco, looks from the side, and half of the entire building is destroyed and the half she's on remains standing, nothing happens to her. Because one half remained standing and the other didn't. Because those who stayed on the side where the building remained standing don't care about the earthquake, while the others, who do, created the earthquake, you can be sure. Everything you focus on is created. So, you have n realities at the same time. If you focus on it, you're already in that reality. You're getting a bit critical of the 2012 story. Everyone gets several emails a day talking about catastrophe, the end of the world. Whoever wants it, will have it, you can be sure. If you want to participate, it's free, you'll have it. If you don't want it, don't focus. You're warned. If you paid attention, it creates it right away. Illness doesn't exist. Illness doesn't exist. There's only health. Joel Goldsmith, a great American metaphysician who died in the last century. He would receive phone calls in the middle of the night, and the person would say, "Look, I have a relative who is sick." He would answer, "Just think about him." He thought. "Bye, go to sleep." He would hang up the phone. He was cured. In Joel Goldsmith's mind, there is no such thing as illness, so he would collapse the guy and the problem would be over. He looks at the guy and sees health. The other guy looks at illness. He looks at health. Now imagine, you go to the doctor and say, "Doctor, I have a stomachache." There you have it, you already have something, the doubt is there, what do I have? The other guy looks for it. And the one who looks for it finds, collapse of the wave function. If you look for it, you find it. The doctor says, "Let's do several tests to find it." And, he finds it, because you have the other guy collapsing. You will look for it so much that you will find it. Now, if everyone collapsed, how could there be any problems? There would be no problems at all. Now, it's logical, everything is an evolution. If over time, you had countless negative thoughts and feelings, whether intentional or not, it doesn't matter, you added a lot of antimatter to yourself and you start having problems, it's logical. This mechanism of adding antimatter is for you to ultimately learn what the reality of the universe is like and learn to snap your fingers and demagnetize and end the problem. Hatred creates cancer. Hate creates cancer. When will you learn? Stop hating and the problem will be over. It may take a long time until you learn. It's learning. One has to be miserable in the gutter, begging for money, another has to be this, another that. Infinite possibilities. You can learn any way you want, until it hurts. It hurts so much that there comes a time when you learn. The moment you decide to learn, it's solved. And all of this is physics. The idea doesn't come from you. Ideas come from the quantum vacuum. Amit Goswami published the book, Quantum Creativity. When you stop your mind, become serene, centered, balanced, quiet, calm, lower your brain frequency to alpha, 5, 6 cycles per second, step outside, leave your ego aside, and stay focused. Let him work. What will happen? Since he works all the time, the idea emerges from the quantum vacuum, called creativity. You have countless ideas to do and things. Inspiration for works of art, writers, musicians, etc. Everything the quantum vacuum did. Mozart 3 years old, do you think Mozart composed all that? He was like an interface, everything went through him. Like Carlos Santana. He says, I am not the one who plays, the music goes through me. The only job is to refine my central nervous system, so I can make the chord. This is our job, we have to refine it. If you want to be a musician, you have to train a lot because you need the nerve at capacity X and also sensitivity, mind, software and hardware to be able to play, around 246 cycles per second to play a C on the piano. That's the difficulty. The C is ready, from that piece, from the symphony. But we need an incarnate person who has an instrument, who has refined it a lot, since he was 6 years old, to be able to play the key, when he touches the string it vibrates and plays the perfect C. Who is playing? The quantum vacuum. We are only the interface. So, all the ideas of making money are not ours, but his. It flows non-stop, because it does not make distinctions between people. Everyone is a person. No problem, free will. It will not be like, oh, you can't make money, you can't. If you have the ability, the money is here. No one will limit what you will receive. Will there be a limit to the stock of ideas in the quantum vacuum? None. You can have the most brilliant ideas possible. If you stay quiet and let it, it sends the ideas upwards, to penetrate the microtubules of your neurons, synapses, until you have the idea. But to do so, you need to stop thinking about the bills to pay. That's why I say, watch a comedy. Take out about 30 comedy movies from the rental store, and watch them. Disconnect from the problem. It's perfect. You thought, created, go take care of your life, do any business, anything. But, stop thinking. When you lose focus, the Zeno effect stops, and everything starts moving. But, if you keep thinking, will customers come? Will customers come? Will customers come? Customers don't come. Customers are brought by electromagnetism, not by marketing, advertising, radio, television, newspapers, none of that. It's just electromagnetism, it comes automatically, even if it's from China, it comes here. You don't have to do anything. It comes. Don't believe what's being explained. There you go, the problem has been created, because you'll have to fight, earn money, place ads, run campaigns, etc. There you go, you've already created the problem, and when you created it, you've already gotten tangled up in it. A dentist comes and asks to sell her office for a good price and buy an investment apartment. She starts to get going. 3 or 4 months later she sells the office and buys the apartment. Her husband says, don't go to the MRI anymore, because he realized that she grew, he's falling behind, and he's not interested in coming. What did she do? To keep it going, for now, because notice, after you've caught a dynamic that the train is moving, how does the train stop? It doesn't stop. She expanded her consciousness, but he asked her to stop, and she stopped. She said, I don't want to create a problem with him, so I'm not going to do it anymore. She thinks she is standing still, but consciousness is energy, it is atoms and atoms are vibrating, moving all the time. This in itself expands quickly, now with resonance, because before the increase was gradual and in a smaller proportion it would increase by 50 years. With resonance it grew exponentially. There is no point in him saying, you are not going to do it anymore, and she giving in, okay, I am not going to do it anymore. How long will this last? A month, 2, 3, a year. It cannot last much longer than that, even if she does not do it, because the impulse that has already taken hold, expands without ceasing, but he does not understand. Patience, well, she will try. It is important to understand that any information you want is available. Why first become a mechanic, then a plumber, electrician, doctor? You will have to incorporate all this information into yourself, sooner or later. And if you save time, by putting it all together at once, you will already have a package of all these professions. That is why resonance exists, it makes this easier. Why do you have to have one profession for life? Put 1, 50, 100, there is no limit and just ask. If you ask, you receive. If you ask, you receive, you assimilate. Another month, another month, another month. Imagine in the case of the bank manager, whose capacity is so great that not even 6 people will replace her. They will go crazy, because when they see that 6 were not enough, they will add 7, 8, 9, 15. Hey, who is this woman? Do you understand? And capacity. Her capacity for abstraction, creation, and mentality is so enormous that she thinks and adds real estate credit, finances an entire building, another, and another, without stopping. Why? Because her capacity has been growing exponentially for the past year. Imagine if you had asked for a physicist, then another. Let's talk on equal terms. You have a physicist, and everyone here also has physicists. Can you imagine what level you would be at? The questions would be interesting. Metaphysician for everyone, economist for everyone, sociologist, and so on. Now, you are in one company, he is in another, in different areas. You make a huge impact on your company, everyone considers you a bit strange, how does he do it? Another client, a businessman, in 1 year, jumps from 160 employees in the department he is managing to 1,000 employees. Now, he only has the vice president under him. No one knows what to do with it, it keeps growing. They understand the dynamics, but you are here, the other is there, everything is separate. Imagine one day we can catch 3, 5, 6, 10 people in a company, an entire sales department with resonance, an entire bank branch with resonance. There is a group of businessmen, for now, this is scattered, there are several clients. But it is spread out. But sooner or later they will come together. There are already 3 businessmen together who do resonance. The wives, the children, the brother-in-law. Everyone does it. The entire family of the 3 businessmen does resonance. I serve everyone in a single day. It is a group, they work together. Where will they get to? Imagine. It's not separate. There will be no one to license the other's efforts. They grow without any problem. People want to grow without being pulled out from under them, because they are envious and jealous. There are bosses who don't want to let them grow. Imagine if you had an entire company with resonance, no matter the size, but the entire company, boosting everyone's capacity to the maximum. What's the problem? Will there be any limitations on money or growth? There isn't. Since no one tells anyone anything, doesn't disclose it, the risk of it happening is 0, did you notice? Because practically no one talks. Few people talk. Now, in a soccer team, it can never be done like that. Hired to put on a soccer team. It's impossible, you can put on individual players. Why? What will the other team do when they find out that resonance is being put on a single team? They will want it. So, it needs to be available to everyone, it can't be exclusive to one team. If it is exclusive to one team, only that team will win forever. There is no chance of another team winning. Do you understand the point? It cannot be done with just one team, because there are all the opponents around. Resonance needs to be available to everyone, it cannot be exclusive. A politician comes and starts doing resonance. After a month he doesn't go back. He gives up because he will change so much that when the wave hits, he gives up. The frequency hits his paradigm so much that he needs to change the way he does politics, but since he doesn't want to change the way he does politics, he gives up on resonance. I have several cases. It lasts a month. Well, it was possible to expand consciousness to understand and embody the quantum issue of life, and once this is understood, the results are inevitable. It needs to be chewed like this until the penny drops and consciousness expands. It is real, no matter how science fiction it may seem. The universe is incredible.